Good evening, everyone. All the students take your classes daily and timely and also do your homework timely. Now, in today's video, we will discuss the topic rounding off to nearest tens, 100, 1000 and 10,000. Firstly, we will discuss rounding off to the nearest tens. Now, I am taking an example here. I have taken a number 12. Now, rounding off to nearest 10. First of all, what I have done, as you know that we are rounding off to the nearest 10. So, the first thing you need to do is underline the digit at tens place. Why? Because it is nearest tens. So, what we have to do? We have to underline the digit which is at tens place. Next, what we have to do? Look at the digit in ones place. Look at the digit in ones place. Okay, this is 2. The digit in the ones place is 2. Now, if the digit in the ones place is less than 5, then there is no change in the digit in tens place. But if the one digit in the ones place is greater than or equals to 5, the digit at tens place is increased by 1. Okay. Now, we will observe 12 now. Again, I have underlined 1. Why? Because we are rounding off to the nearest tens. Now, I am going to observe 2 here. The digit at ones place. 2 is what? Less than 5. So, what is the step here? If the ones digit is less than 5, then there is no change in the digit in the tens place. So, 2 is less than 5. That is why 1 will remain same. There will be no change in 1. So, in the solution, 1 will remain as it is, and while rounding off to the nearest tens, we will replace the digit in ones place by 0. Now, I'll explain you one more example. Now, see here, I have taken another number 35. Again, we are going to round it off to the nearest tens. Now, the first step, what I told you, firstly, underline the digit in tens place. So, I have underlined 3. Now, what I am going to do next? I am going to observe the digit in ones place. That is, I am going to observe 5. Now, 5 is on which? 5 is equals to 5. And what is the condition earlier? I have told you that if the digit in ones place is equals to or greater than 5, then the digit at tens place is increased by 1. So, 5 is equals to 5. That is why we will increase 3 by 1. So, plus 1. So, 3 will become 4, and what we will do? We will replace the digit in ones place by 0. So, the answer is 40. Now, a third example. Now, I have taken a number here 57. Now, I have underlined 5. Why? Because it is on tens place, and now I'll observe the digit in ones place, that is 7. Now 7 is what? Greater than 5. Now what was the condition before? I have told you that if the digit in ones place is greater than 5, then the digit in tens place is increased by 1. So because 7 is greater than 5, then we will increase 5 by 1, that is plus 1. So 5 will become 6, and we will replace 7 by 0. Now, I have taken another example 794. Now again, I have underlined the digit in tens place. I have underlined 9. Now, which digit I'll observe? 4. Why? Because it is on ones place. 4 is what? Less than 5. What was the condition? That if the digit in ones place is less than 5, then the digit in tens place will remain same. So 9 will remain as it is. Now 7, we will copy 7 as it is. 9 will remain same and we will replace the digit in ones place, that is we will replace 4 by 0. One more example. I have taken another number 6948. Again I have underlined 4. Why? Because it is on which place? Tens place. Okay. Now which digit I'll observe? 8. 8 is what? Greater than 5. So we will increase 4 by 1. Now in the answer 6, 9 will remain as it is. 4 is increased by 1. So we will add 1. 4 will become 5 and we will replace 8 by 0. So the answer is 6950. In the answer, always remember, while rounding off to the nearest 10, we will replace the ones digit at ones place by 0. Now rounding off to nearest 100. Again, I will take an example firstly. For rounding off to the nearest 100, what you will do? You will look at the tens place. First of all, I have taken an example 2724. I have underlined 7. Why I have underlined 7? Because we are rounding off to the nearest 100. That is why I have underlined the digit at 100 place. Now, I will observe what? While rounding off to the nearest 100, which digit we will look? We will look at the tens place, that is 2. We will observe 2. Okay. Like earlier, while rounding off to the nearest 10, we look at the ones place. Similarly, while rounding off to the nearest 100, what we will see? We will look at the tens place. So I am observing 2 here. 2 is what? Less than 5. So 7 will remain as it is. 2, 7, and we will replace the tens place as well as the ones place by 0 while rounding off to the nearest 100. Now next example. Now 5857. Which digit we will underline? 100 place. Ones times 100. We have underlined 8 and which digit we will observe? This one. 5. 5 is equals to 5. That is why we will increase 8 by 1. Okay. So 5, 8 plus 1, 9, and while rounding off to the nearest 100, we replace the tens place and ones place by 0. So 5 is replaced by 0 and 7 is also replaced by 0. So the answer is 5900. Now rounding off to the nearest 1000. So while rounding off to the nearest 1000, we will look at the digit in 100 place. Okay. So I have taken example 79457. First of all, I have underlined 9. Why? Because we are rounding off to the nearest 1000. So I have underlined the digit in the 1000 place. 1 stands 100,000. Now we will look at the digit in 100 place. That is, which digit we will see? 4. 1 stands 100. 4 is what? Less than 5. And when the digit is less than 5, then there will be no change in the thousands place. That is, 9 will remain as it is. Now 7, 9 will remain as it is. Now while rounding off to the nearest 1000, we replace the 100 place, tens place and ones place by zeros. So we will replace 4, 5 and 7 by 0. So the answer will be 79000. Now the next example 67895. I have underlined 7. 1 stands 100,000. Why? Because it is on 1000 place. Now I'll observe the digit in 100 place, that is I'll observe 8. 8 is what? Greater than 5. So 7 will be increased by 1. Now see, 6 will remain as it is. 7 will be increased by 1. So 7 will become 8. Now replace 8, 9 and 5 by 0. 8 is replaced by 0, 9 is replaced by 0 and 5 is replaced by 0. This is the required answer. Now rounding off to nearest 10,000. In this we will look at the digit in thousands place. Now I have taken a number 7, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have underlined 2. Why? Because it is on which place? 10,000. See how? Ones, tens, 100,000, 10,000. Now which digit we will look? Digit in thousands place. That is we will look 4. 4 is what? Less than 5. That is why 2 will remain as it is, remains same. Now see 7, 2. Now while rounding off to the nearest 10,000, we will replace the thousands place, 100 place, tens place and ones place by 0. That is, we will replace 4, 5, 6 and 7 by 0. So the answer is 7, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0. Now the next example, 8, 4, 8, 7, 6, 5. First of all, underline the digit at thousands place, ones, tens, 100,000, 10,000 place. 4. Okay. Now observe 8. 8 is what? Greater than 5. So 4, it is increased by 1. 8, we will write 8 as it is. 4 is increased by 1. So 4 will become 5. And we will replace 8, 7, 6, 5 by 0. 8 is replaced by 0, 7 is replaced by 0, 6 is replaced by 0 and 5 is replaced by 0. So the answer is 8500000. Now we will do the exercise 1.4 question number 3. Students, we will do the question number 1 and 2 later on. Okay, we are starting from the question number 3. Round off the following numbers to the nearest 10. 4, 5, 6, 3, 5. Okay, I am doing the C part for you. Okay, I have underlined 3. Why I have underlined 3? Because we are rounding off to the nearest 10. Now, what I will observe? I will observe 5. 5 is equals to 5. That is why 3 is increased by 1. So, 4, 5, 6, 3 is increased by 1. So, it becomes 4 and I have told you while rounding off to the nearest 10, we replace the digit at one's place by 0. So 5 is replaced by 0. So the answer is 45640. Now the next question, question number 4. Round off the following number to the nearest 100. So 569. Underline the digit at 100 place. Why? Because we are rounding off to the nearest 100. Now we will observe the digit at tens place. That is, we will observe 6. 6 is what? Greater than 5. That is why 5 is increased by 1. So 5 becomes 0. And while rounding off to the nearest 100, I have told you that we replace the digit at tens place and ones place by 0. So the answer will be 600. That is 600. Now, fifth question is round off the following numbers to the nearest 1000. So, the number is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. I have underlined the number, the digit at the 1000 place. Ones, tens, 100, 1004. Which digit we will observe? 5. 5 is equals to 5. That is why 4 is increased by 1. So, through 2 and 3 will remain as it is. 4 is increased by 1, so it becomes 5. And I told you that while rounding off to the nearest 1000, the digit at 100 place, tens place and ones place is replaced by 0. So we have replaced 5 by 0, 5 by 0, 6 by 0 and 5 by 0. So the answer is 235000. Now, the sixth question, I have done C part for you. Round off the following numbers to the nearest 10,000. Here's the number 49777023. First of all, underline the digit at 10,000 place. Ones, tens, 100, 1,000, 10,000. Okay, now we will observe the digit at thousands place. That is, we will observe this 7. Now, this 7 is greater than 5. So, the underlined 7 will be increased by 1. So, 4 and 9 will remain as it is. This 7 will increase by 1. It will become 8. And I told you earlier that when we are rounding off to the nearest 10,000, we replace the digit at thousands place, 100 place, tens place and ones place by 0. So 7 is replaced by 0. 0 2 is already 0. 2 is replaced by 0 and 3 is replaced by 0. So the answer is 4980000. Dear students, the rest of the parts you will do by yourself in your fair notebook, and the parts of the questions which I have solved here in this video, you will also do this in your fair notebook.